All right, guys, welcome to the training for today, where I'm going to walk you guys through basically the process for developing your offer and also your messaging so that you can use it not only for running ads, but also for content marketing. Now, with this in mind, you're going to be focused on getting your first clients or adding a couple of extra income or revenue to your existing business. Okay, so either you're starting out or you are just getting things ramped up because you want to scale your business. This is how you're going to basically do it. And within the next 45 minutes or an hour, I'm going to share with you this entire process. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you guys again. And with that in mind, I want you guys basically to take notes because I'm not going to share the document, but I want you guys to take notes because this is what I'm going to walk you guys through. And as I walk you guys through, the idea would be for you guys later on to implement it either you're starting out. So now I have the screen share here and you guys can see my screen. I wanted to simply give you guys a brief idea. What is it that you want to basically do, or when you post something online, basically what type of results you want to get when it comes to reaction of people. So testing different things of which I've seen that works for me. I came to understand that when I post stories or when I post reels or when I post some type of feed, text, image, etc., the main thing that tends to grab the most attention is emotions. Okay, so any post related to emotions, something of painful background of problems, of difficulties, struggles, all those things, but it has to come from the emotional side of it, of which you connect to your business. So the reaction on here I got from one of the posts, and it turned into a client, would be this person that came in and said, "Hey, I saw your post on March 11th that I'm interested in learning about building an audience and monetization." And from there, that person turned into a client. Now, the idea here is because the post attracts the audience, and then the audience wants to buy or participate in whatever you're doing, because it might be something that you're selling, or it might be a free training that you're doing. It might be a paid workshop, which is way more cheaper than a course or a program. So whatever you're doing, that person might have an interest depending on the messaging that you're putting outside into the world, into the market, into onto social media. And once you post that, what you want to do is, if you get a client that buys from you, you want to archive that so later on you can come up with different versions of those pains, problems, etc., that are related to what you already had previously got success with. Another one of them is over here that I posted again, but here I didn't post on social media. I posted within the newsletter, in this case, sending an email, but with the same angle. So from here, the person said, "I was super impressed and felt the level of excitement I haven't experienced since the beginning of my journey. And I felt like I wanted, it was like capable of building something great." So based upon what I've explained and what I've shown, this person felt like they are able to execute on it, and probably whatever dream they had or interest they had, they can be that is more achievable and they can be doing that. So at the end, he says, "How do I complete the process as I don't see a way of, a paid option or the option I did fine." So he was actively looking for an option to pay for the program inside the newsletter. So I don't have any link within the newsletter to buy the program. So this forces them to reply to me and come back to me via Messenger. So if you think about it for a moment, you are, in this case, posting and creating momentum in order for them to come to you rather than you having to chase them, either to book a call or to buy something or to, attend a meeting, etc. Okay, so the process is like this: the why behind what you do. So when talk about the offer and the messaging, it's kind of like an engine. And I want to share with you this breakdown because probably this gives you a bit more context to what I'm trying to convey to you over here, and what I want to basically for you to go and implement. Okay, so you have a beautiful car, looks exotic, looks like top level, super nice. That might be your design, your VSL, etc. But you also have like the rims, what makes the car more appealing. Okay, so this might be your marketing message. It might be your Instagram page. It might be your YouTube videos, etc. Then you have the driver. The driver is yourself. Okay, so that's who you are, trying to give the thing that you're doing some life to it. Okay, make it more interesting. Okay, and then you have the luxurious look or interior. These might be your, I would say, testimonials, your client experiences, the feedback that you get, all those things. But if these things come together in a not in a systemized manner, or it's not optimal, what you will end up with is a broken engine. Okay, something that doesn't work, and it will eventually give you a headache, or you will lose clients. So they will might buy and then drop off, or they might not even buy because there's something missing within the process. Okay, so we want to think about, okay, what are we are producing? Which of these areas are we focusing on? Okay, now if we walk them through this entire process and everything is aligned with each other, it should look like this. Appearance wise, it looks beautiful. This is attractive to either women or men. Someone that likes luxury car, etc., will say to this, wow, this is beautiful. Okay, so it's a like art on wheels because it's nicely designed, it works properly, and it's appealing to the eyes. Okay, based on the curve, shapes, design, etc. Okay, so what we want to do here is make sure that our system, whatever we work on, has those steps in it and makes the people feel okay, it makes them feel great. All right, so this is the emotion that we want to help them achieve. So if you go back to here, the person says like within his journey he finally felt that he was capable of building something great. Why? Because of the process that I explained, they could have seen like, hey, that appeals to me, that person, that they feel like, hey, this is finally doable. Okay, they don't have to be charged an arm and a leg in order to do it. It's systemized. They can go and do it by themselves. Now, if they want to pay someone, okay, fine, they can do it. But if they can understand it and they can implement it for themselves, they will come to you with a buying intent rather than you having to sell them very hard or try to book them on a call to sell them. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve. Help them feel great. Now, with this in mind, you want to ask yourself, how is it or what can you do in order for you to basically set your business up so that they can come to you rather than you chasing them? Okay, so you want to sell to your one person business because most of you guys watching this probably are a one person trying to launch a business. Either you do organic marketing or paid advertising, it's one or the other, but you're still one or two person. Maybe yourself and a VA, or yourself and a closer, or yourself and a content writer, etc. Okay, so first of all, in my situation, I don't have fancy VSLs. What I focus on is the same thing that I'm doing here. I'm sharing the exact process with people that are missing that piece, the process for achieving a goal. Okay. So what I do is make or produce these videos and share these raw videos. I don't even edit them. Initially, I tried to, but then I kind of saw that I don't need to. So then, okay, why do I need editing? No, I don't need it. So I focus on the raw content because people want to see the raw information because then they understand and genuinely they can see that you have a good intent and you're genuinely sharing things with them. You're giving them value. Okay. Now, what I did with the editing, some videos that I might do the editing more simpler. Okay. So no animation complexities. Now, I can take the animation from someone else and change and tweak and then share it. Yes, of course. But creating from scratch or paying someone to do from scratch, no, not anymore. And I don't do sales calls. Okay. I just sell them via chat. If you look at, again, the initial conversation I showed you at the beginning, they were through chat, and most of them have been through chat maybe throughout the span of like 1 or 2 days, and the conversation entirely was maybe like 5 minutes or so, maybe 10 minutes, because they reply me today, I asked them 1 or 2 questions today, then maybe after a day or so I reply them back with a purchase link. Okay, so that's basically it. So I didn't go too much back and forth. Why? Because the attitude is I don't do sales calls and I'm not needy for the sale. If you want it, great. If you don't, check someone else. Probably they can offer you something better. Okay, so that's basically the attitude. So when I do that, they come to me and they buy immediately. I don't need to sell them. Okay, so the business doesn't have to be fancy. What you have to focus on is having a conversion offer and a sexy messaging. Conversion offer meaning something that they're looking for. Sexy messaging meaning the way you articulate your value is the way that will attract the ones that have a buyer intent. Okay, so I try to focus on like call this it's like a timeless engine for your car because this is the car that we want to build. something that when we pull in or we pass by or people see us, getting off, they basically look at this car and say, wow, this is beautiful. Okay. Because again, even if the car is just standing there and not running, okay, it still looks beautiful. So that is what you want. Make something attractive, even if you're not actively promoting it. All right. So when we go down, we want to look at the 6 components. How do we create that signature offer that you desperately want? Like the offer has to basically be converting by itself. How do we do that? Well, we follow this plan. Okay, so we have a plan, we have a story. Okay, the plan is I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. The story behind it is why you are doing X, Y, and Z. What you will do to that is share on a daily basis what exactly are you doing step by step, and then what is the code of conduct that you are trying to convey to others that you want to help people cultivate. The code of conduct in my case, I don't do safe sales calls. I don't work with people that are trying to just buy for a monetary gain. Okay, because again, for myself, I'm trying to build a lifestyle. Okay, I'm not trying to monetize or just, I'm not trying to sell people just to make the sale. So if I get someone with that mindset, I will basically put either refund them, put them off, or just shove them off the conversation. Why? Because I don't want to have that type of conversation. Now, I don't do it in a disrespectful way, but I will say it to them very clearly. Hey, if this is what you want, sorry, I'm not able to help you. You probably want to find someone else. And then they reply, no, 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 it's not that. It's this and that. So they will explain or try to validate themselves to me. And then based on that, I will try to accept them or not. Okay. And if I accept them, it's going to be straightforward. This is what's going to cost. This is what you're going to get. This is what I expect from you. Are you clear on that? If yes, here's the purchase link. That's it. And they will decide if they purchase or not. So the traits, what you have to try to develop is here. Promise and time frame. Okay, what is the promise you're trying to give them? If there's something related to business, something related to self-development, something related to the health. Time frame, in how many days, how many weeks, how many months. Client avatar, who is it that you're trying to speak to? Try to be not super specific, not super broad. Okay, it has to be kind of like in the middle. So if I wanted to be super specific, I can say like, I'm trying to speak to executives that are stuck in the pharmacy business and wants to become, I don't know, like I don't know, a stay-at-home mom, spending time with their kids, all those things. Like give the very detailed um, description. You can go that specific, or you can say very very broad. I'm trying to look for pharmaceutical executive. That is like super broad. You have to kind of be in the middle. So in the middle, I would say like I'm trying to look for pharmaceutical executives wanting X, Y, and Z, or struggling to achieve X, Y, and Z, or dealing with X, Y, and Z. That's it. Just stay there. The reason I say that is because when you talk on that specific, I would say, angle, you attract two type of people, of which you don't know who's going to buy. So you want to stay in between there. Now, if you go super specific, you will attract I would say, a specific type of audience. But then the difficulty you're going to deal with is that it may be that you're not going to get sales. Why? Because what you're seeing is that people are becoming very, I would say, hyper focused, of which a majority of the audience that tends to buy are not that hyper focused client. Okay, so if you think about it, 80-20, Pareto style, whatever, you might see like out of 100 people, or maybe even 10 people, you would say 80 of them came for a different reason that is not your offer, even though they still want your offer. Okay, and 20 of them are the specific avatar that you're trying to look for. Go into super detail. All right, now if you have your unique mechanism, it might be that in my case, my unique mechanism is combining newsletter ad networks with Instagram follower ads. Like those are the two areas because I've kind of see that it gives quicker success. But for you, it might be you might use emails, you might be using YouTube videos, you might be using organic content, you might be using paid advertising. It depends on what type of mechanism are you utilizing to get to that outcome. And then pricing, anywhere, again, high ticket, low ticket, depending on what you want to sell. The path, what people will have to, execute. And then why not? Why they need to act now? Now, they need to act now because if they're not, they might be losing XYZ amount of money. They might be damaging their own health, etc., etc. Okay, so you want to craft this step by step. I'm going to give you a glimpse of what it might look like from a one of the competitors, and from here you can understand. So as we talked about previously, you have a promise and a time frame. Okay, over here it says, for example, if you're helping businesses increase, like agency owner increase in profits or revenue, you can say like add 30K up in revenue while building a personal brand. It might be you want to help them overcome their trauma in order for them to live more in the moment, something like that. Or it might be you want to help them acquire their six-pack abs before the next summer, or something like that. You want to just play around with it, similar to client avatar. Again, keeping it broad, okay, like in the middle, not go to very broad or to very specific. Mechanism, in this case, the person was using Social Sniper. In my case, I use Nomad creators. Pricing as well can change, and you guys can play around with it. And then when you see the path and or the why now on the right side, you can see that there's benefits, and then there's time frame and checkpoint. Then there's, again, second phase will be benefits, then time frame and checkpoint, and third phase as well. So each phase has a different meaning, okay? And I will break this down. And later on, you guys can, if you want to screenshot or have a look at this in a bit more detailed manner. So let's just break it down so that you guys can understand this. Okay, so first thing we want to remember when it talks about time frame and promise is that the little promise is kind of like easier to keep, but also easier to deliver. Okay, and it has to be something realistic. If you do a big promise, it probably will be difficult to achieve and also, I would say, difficult to deliver. Why? Because people tend to think in the way the world works, meaning they come to you with the perception that you are McDonald's. So if they purchase now, they want everything delivered now. Meanwhile, the thing that you might be doing or helping them with might take weeks, it might take months, it even might take years, depending on the client's way of interpreting the information, executing the information, and or fulfilling on his own promises, like showing up. Because if it says, yeah, sure, I will do the program, and within the next 2 weeks, oh, I'm not available, I'm too busy. Oh, I can do this, I don't have time. Oh, but it comes up with many excuses, then you're not able to deliver the way you want to deliver, okay? So you have to keep all those variables in mind. And with that, you can realistically come up with a promise that is more achievable, okay? So what you want to do is what gets done. Okay, you have to look at that. Other question, what can you point at? Okay, that they need to get done will be the first step that will get them results faster. Okay, can you describe what you will see and show how they show up in their lives if they commit? Okay, so when you break it down, it has to be something they understand, and then they see like, oh, this is doable, makes sense. So for example, when you sell your program, the first thing you always say like, hey, once you purchase, this will be the next step, and then we will start doing X. So the next step will be, for example, after purchasing is registering for the members area, and the next step will be in the first video we will be doing together or achieving XYZ step or XYZ results or XYZ setup, etc. Okay, so it has to be clear as to what the step needs to be and if they will be able to commit to it. And then the fourth question is, why aren't they going to do it? Or what negative downside are you helping them avoid? So if they don't complete that step, what are the consequences? Okay, an example will be of which you can utilize is if you want to improve XYZ, you can add something of income driven, your first X, Y, and Z achievement. So your first, I don't know, like 225 pounds bench press. If you're working in the gym because they want to push more weight, become more bulkier, whatever. The next X, Y, and Z that they, I don't know, do it with. So in here, it's like your next 3 clients with IG ads, etc., etc. Okay, so we have to kind of think, what is it that we can utilize in our framework that we can create that sexy messaging, okay, to make our offer appealing to them. Now, there's many different versions you can use, but you have to kind of twist and turn, see what you can come up with. Okay, now, as we said, the offer by itself has to be the desired outcome. Okay, so when we talk about drilling a hole in a wall to hang like a, I would say like, I don't know, a piece of art, they need that hole in the wall in order to be able to put a like a screw or something or a hook in order for them to put something on it, to hang on it. Otherwise, it's not achievable. They cannot get that outcome. So instead of selling the drill, say that I have this system, sell basically what you have, which is the process of getting there, okay, or the plan of getting there. Okay, why the process or the plan? Because again, you want people to look at it and feel that, oh, I understand this. It's similar to the car. When the design speaks to the eye, the car sells itself. The brand doesn't have to do a lot of advertising to push the car to be sold, because only by showing up once at, how they call it, I think they call it the SEMA show, or they call it like the Auto Expo or something. They simply show with a prototype. The prototype sells itself. People start raving about it. So when you talk about the plan and you talk about the process, people sell themselves. Instead of you having to say, hey, buy my offer, you sell like, hey, if you want to implement this process, just let me know. DM me, chat with me, comment in the comment box or something. Okay. So with that, you can do either a monthly pay installment, you can do a payment in full, you can also do a payment in weekly. First, I personally started experimenting with weekly, and basically the sales that I just shared came in for weekly pay. Okay, so weekly pay will be 250, so that will be $1,000 a month. Okay, now you might be asking, okay, but they're paying you weekly per call. No, I'm not selling the call. I'm selling the execution of the plan, and we do it on a call per week. Okay, so I do it one-on-one with them. This means that they don't randomly go into a program, they don't randomly start executing or randomly go like ghosting me because they haven't completed it, or they're ashamed, or they're too busy. I on a weekly basis show up with them and I say, hey, this is a program, this is process, let's break it down and let's do it one-on-one, so that I can keep track of what you're doing, I can make sure that you're executing, and at the same time, if you're doing it good or bad, I can quickly adjust it. Okay, if it's good, we can improve. If it's bad, we can still improve. Doesn't matter. So you can do it in 16 weeks if you're coaching. If you can do it in 25 weeks if you are a group setting. Okay, and if you are an agency, you can do 1 to 3 or 6 months. Do it in that plan. This will be more easy for the client because again, they will see that they're not kind of I would say stuck to you for a long term. Okay, they have no long-term agreements. It's either they fulfill on it, if not, they can leave if they want. Either way, when you think about it, even if you're doing installments for a high ticket program, people in the end still leave. Why? Because they're attracted by other stuff, and or feel that the thing that you're doing or giving them to do is so difficult, they tend to feel deflated or demotivated, and they by themselves stop. Okay, so either you want to do coaching or not, or you want to sell a course or not, you want to think, okay, what will be the ideal pricing? Now, if you're selling a course, let me just write over here. You want to do anywhere between 297 up to, I would say, 114.97 for a course. Okay, so this will be the pricing range. Price range. The reason you want to do it at that pricing, again, because it's easier to pay. Keep in mind, people have roughly 1,500 or 2K to pay for the course upfront without speaking to anyone. And you can do it through 3Pay as well, like 1,500 split into 3. If you do it like that, more likely you will sell it. If you don't, like you go for high ticket, like 3K and above, what you end up seeing is that you will get um, some type of friction because people have objections, they're not sure, they want more proof, they want you to show income statement, they want you to show tax statement, they want you to show the car, the house, the yacht, and all those things before they buy. And you're like, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to be posting entire life and income claims and all those things just to attract people. You want people come to you if they want to buy. Okay, so put it in a pricing that they feel that they can buy. That's one of them. Second, give them options. So either it's coaching or course. In my case, I have these two, coaching and course. I don't deal with anything agency-wise like Done For You. I don't do anything in group setting. Why? Because a group setting, people tend to ghost you. So if people want to be in a group setting, they can buy the course. That's it. But I don't do like, hey, I will coach in group. Therefore, you can come on the calls when you want, etc. No, I don't try to do that. I give people the course, and inside the course, they're immediately inside of like a group-ish. And once a month, I basically do a workshop. And sometimes I'm trying to push like 2 a month, but till now I'm doing it once a month because it's kind of like easier for my schedule. And based on this, like it makes my life way more easier. So you guys can try to think on the time frame and or how you call it, like the course. offer. So with this, again, it will be a course, and this will be lifetime access or monthly. Okay, so this is just last thing. If you want to sell a course, you can do a lifetime access, like a bulk payment will be a lifetime access. If you are doing a low ticket, you can do like a community, you can do a monthly pay. This, a lot of people have it set up on school.com, so that's the way you can do it as well. Okay, so let's talk about the path, the thing that they have to walk through in order to get the outcome. So when we talk about that thing, we have basically 3 stages. Okay, the space specifically the process or the path they walk through in order to get results. These are the 3 ones I personally focus on. Okay, offer, leads, and freedom. So when I want to help people, I first look at the offer. Okay, what can we do with it? Okay, to optimize. People tend to think that there's some magic thing that you do. There's no magic thing. You simply reiterate, you optimize. Okay, so you optimize based on what people tell you that they want to optimize for. Again, let me go back. Look at these feedbacks. Okay, I'm not only talking about these that became a sale. I'm talking about your leads. So if you look at the feedback at the bottom, oh sorry, the one at the top, it says, I saw your post the 11th. And what does the post said? It said audience monetization system that sells low ticket offer and high ticket without doing sales calls. That is what the post says. And that is what the person repeats. Therefore, they want to buy. So what do you think I'm going to put into the offer? That specific thing that I just explained. Audience monetization system that helps you sell low ticket and high ticket offer without doing sales calls. Why? Because that's what basically I'm doing. So I'm basically selling what I'm doing. So with them, I try to see who wants that as well. Okay, so when you are creating an offer, you want to reiterate and use that as well. So basically, I'll try to focus on this. This is the thing they need, and the way I articulate it is what I've just shown you above. Okay, so you have the offer, and you attract the leads, and then you build freedom. How do you build freedom? Well, we build freedom by not doing sales calls, by not sending out DMs, all those things. When they reach out to me, that's when I respond them. But I don't actively go and hire a VA and try to create messaging and try to manage a team and try to pay them before they send out messages, all those things, and probably get, account restricted, all those things. Okay, so when it comes to that, who's the avatar we want to focus on? Okay, we want someone to be in a specific niche, okay, that you are experienced in. Someone that vibes with you, or I would say instead of vibes, I would agrees with you, okay, on your I don't know. It might be your perspective. It might be your opinion on things. It might be things that you like, things that you don't like, etc. Okay, so they have to agree with you in those things. Now, what clients also want or know about, okay, that you are positively 100% sure that you can help them with. These are the things you want the avatar to have as a general description. Okay, so to be specific, it will be what clients you are targeting plus context formula. Okay, so if we want to target agency owners, it will say agency owners at specific income level. Why? Because we want to make sure that they are dealing with some specific problem. And this is that they're stuck at that price range or revenue range. It might be business professional looking to lose fat. It might be coaches want to get rid of sales calls. Okay, so in my case, again, I try to look for someone that is either a coach, an affiliate, or a digital nomad. Digital nomads are most likely people that have a skill and sell that skill as a service. Okay, so that's basically it. Most of them you see are in the tech developer range, but sometimes you have copywriters, sometimes you have designers, editors, etc. Okay, so those are basically the breakdown for them. So this is how you structure it. Now, if you guys are doing self-development, it might be that you're looking for a specific type of audiences, might be executive, professionals, etc. With that price range, with that audience targeting, you tend to see that they have an income range that they can probably buy something from you if you sell it at 1,500, 2K, 3K, 5K, etc. Okay, because if they are a C-level executive, most likely they have a 80K plus per year salary. So for them to pay you 2K, 3K, 5K, it's not a hassle. But if you target someone lower than that, of course, you're going to deal with some issues. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. Now, once we have that broken down, we want to target the mechanism. Okay, so the mechanism is going to be part of the promise, of which we are going to give it a name that will stand out from the market. You have people online probably have like Social Sniper, Cash Creators, Likes in Cash, Funnel Hackers, Nomad Creators, and this is from myself. Like this is what I do, or the name I came up with for my own course or program. So you guys might have yours as well. Okay, so you want to give yours a specific unique. So in my case, as you can see here, I talk about Nomad, I talk about creators. So I target those two markets. Okay, become a Nomad creator. So if you want to create a name like that, you can do that, but make sure it matches what you're trying to achieve as a specific outcome. Okay. Now, if the pricing that you're doing are focused on ROI, you have to ask yourself, is that achievable? Is that doable? Okay. Because again, as we just said a minute ago, if you're focusing on self-development, if you're focusing on relationship, etc., it doesn't really pertain to an ROI outcome. Most of the time, it pertains to a self-fulfilling, I would say, purposeful outcome. So instead of focusing on ROI and justifying with a pricing, you have to focus on a specific outcome they want and try to see what have they already tried that you can justify a pricing for. So for example, people want to lose weight. That's the outcome. It might be a certain amount of weight, doesn't matter, but that's the outcome. And now, how many meals they bought, how many shakes they've purchased, how many programs they purchased in the past, and have failed. So try to understand what is the total amount of thing that they purchased, and therefore you can justify your pricing based on what they already paid in the past. Okay, and just do it a bit higher. But anyways, you can justify it by that. Or you can go the route of, hey, if you're not fixing this problem, how much damage is it making into your work environment, into your life, with your kids? And if you think about it, does that have a price? If you think about it, yes, it does. So if you damage your relationship at work and you lose your job, or you're slowly kind of feeling like you don't want to be part of that job anymore, what is the total revenue that you're losing out of, or the income that you're losing out of? So you have to kind of help them understand that value first, and then say, well, therefore I charge this because what you're losing is way more, okay? Or what you're sacrificing or so. All right, so that's how you come up with the pricing. Now, depending on, again, if your business model trying to go after businesses, or if your business model is trying to help people in self-development, etc. Now, the reason now. So this is one key of why they need to act now. So you want to understand this as well. So in the world of unlimited supplies, okay, so everyone's giving you more and more and more, you have to limit your wins. Okay, so meaning you have to limit the amount of people you work with, and you have to limit the way you provide the offer. Okay, so I try to keep my course to 60 people, not more. So this gives me a range of 3 people per day. That's it, or minimum of 2 per day, a maximum of 3. And from there, I tend to see that when people see that it's slowly closing down, they tend to act faster. Okay, so people don't actually buy when you have everything open up. So people only buy in scarcity. It's a psychological process. Here's an example of people saying like, hey, the system has been closing, the doors has been closing for this event, for this workshop, for this program, and then they give you a one-time offer. Okay, so you can cap your spots. With this in mind, you want to use and understand and calculate what is your escape number or your freedom number. Okay, you want to understand that. So what I mean with this is, what do you need to acquire in sales for you to be able to go fully whatever in whatever you're doing? Okay, so if you want to work fully online on your business on a monthly basis, what are so not what are the systems, sorry, what is the income that you need in order to sustain yourself every single month? You have to break that down. If it's 2K, if it's 3K, only on your expenses, counting your business, your lifestyle, your bills, all those things. If you have an idea it's around 2K, 3K, 5K or something, then you have to think to yourself, how many clients I need for that? And then you start breaking it down. And then you break down how many spots can you open. Okay, on average, the conversion in a total, like if you had 10 people, the conversion will be between 2 up to 4 on average. If you can increase it to 6 or 8, that's awesome. but on average, it will be between 2 to 4. So if you have 10 people coming in and you properly make an offer, you will have at least 2 sales to 4 sales from every 10 people, if your offer indeed speaks to the audience. If not, worst case scenario, you might have 0 to 1. Okay, that is worst case scenario, 0 to 1. Even if you even get one, it's super awesome, but worst case scenario is 0 to 1. So you want to think, how can you create scarcity and or your offer positioning in order for you to make your audience understand, like, hey, there's only a limited spots available. So if you don't act, I'm sorry, but you're going to be kicked out. And later, if you come back to me, like after a week or so, and the spots are closed, I will still put you on a waiting list. Why? Because I'm not going to work with you just because you came in late. If you do that very strictly, your audience will understand, like, oh, I'm sorry, but next time you post your offer, I will immediately buy it. I will not go and wait on the waiting list. So I don't want to be last. Okay, so you can also do that. Creating waiting list so that you can have your future offer pre-sold, and the one that existing, putting on a limited spots only. Okay, and try to be as strict as possible. Even if you're not making any money, try to be as strict as possible. This is going to help you position your offer better. So what will be the golden bullets of your messaging? Okay, so in order for you to make your messaging more sexier, more appealing, more attractive, what you want to do is try to follow through with basically helping the clients understand your process when you produce your content. Okay, so when you're posting, based on your posting sequence and also based on your posting narrative or topics, people will understand what is your code of conduct. Okay, so here you talk about your principles, your standards, your perspective, and your stories. Okay, so you share that through them. So if you are a straight to the point person, you have to be like that in your content. It cannot be on camera. You're like, yeah, I'm super nice. Talk to me. Super awesome to know you, etc. And behind the scenes, you're like, okay, just do this, just do that. I don't want to hear about that, etc. It cannot be that you're two persons, like you have like two faces. You have to be the same person behind the camera and in front of the camera. When you are genuine like that, people will buy faster from you because they can see throughout the BS. Okay, people can smell it from far, they can see it from far, they can see it through the copy, they can see it through the video. Okay, so if you are a decent, regular, professional, awesome, nice, etc., just be like that in front of the camera. Don't try to exaggerate another personality because it's not going to work. Okay, do that in your day-to-day activities, and this is what will help you stand out. Okay, so what's going to be your plan when it comes to executing? I'm going to share with you a couple of people, and through doing that, I want you to imagine yourself. So the planning is basically to get your, I would say, day-to-day activities in line with what is your goal and your dreams. Okay, so you have a dream outcome that's kind of like something in the future, but you have a goal right now in the short term, and then you have a day-to-day activity. Okay, so the goal might be for you to make XYZ amount of money with your business. It might be for you to get a certain level in your self-development. It might be to help someone specific, like a specific avatar within the world that we live in. Okay, so that's might be your goal, but your dream is to eventually attend a, I don't know, like do like a retreat. That might be a dream goal. Maybe travel to a world, like this different place, and do like a meetup, something like that. So something that is doable, achievable, but still for the long term, not really for right now. So an example will be if you look at Alex Hormozi and Gary Vee, it shows you like Alex Hormozi talks about how he likes like ice cream, pizza, etc., but he still has a good physique. How he likes pushing himself into the gym because that's, has good effect on his mindset, and that's his day-to-day reels, etc., etc. You tend to see that many of those traits are kind of sprinkled into his content. If you look at the goal, okay, the goal is for him to build up momentum, pushing the school, because school is the recent investment that he made because he wants to grow that business, that community platform. And from there, he pushes his books. That's kind of like his main offer. And the main dream goal is to get to $1 billion. All right. So if you look at Gary Vee has a very straightforward, like a no BS attitude when it comes to doing interview, live calls, etc. And he's been doing this on a day-to-day basis. either through vlogs, either through events, either through live calls. Okay, so kind of like a mix of all those things. Now, his goal was, or I think still is, something related to crypto. So it might be in the NFT range. He was doing a lot of live pushing those things, like especially when COVID started. But now, as he says, like many of his videos or events, like his main dream is buying the Jets. Okay, so the Jets team. So if you think about it, you have to also kind of share this into your content with your audience. And I'm not saying this because they are doing it, you are going to do it. I'm saying this, if you do it like this, since people are naturally gravitated towards this, automatically it's going to help you. Okay, even if it's small, like your goal might be, hey, simply to spend more time with your family. If that is your dream, then share your dream into your messaging, into your content, into your videos, into your podcasts, into your I would say articles. Okay, so in my case, okay, my personal dream, all right, will be projects. So when I do my day-to-day sharing of content, I share what are my projects, I share my perspective, and I share my insight. My perspective are more related to what I observe and my opinion, and my insights are basically what I've learned through implementing and executing certain things within businesses. And doing that, I want to reach the goal of having a personal $1 million per month revenue. Okay, with my business. What is the business? The goal is growing the course and coaching offer. That is basically it, but not growing in the sense of more audience, more sales. I'm talking more at increasing the amount of sales I get, meaning the pricing, so that I can limit my spots but focus more on the client. With that, as I said, the stepping stone will be the Nomad Creator Course and Coaching. And the third step will be a self-sustaining automation business, meaning the business feeds itself with organic content. I don't have to be pushing more offers, newer offers, another thing just to keep up with the trend. No, I don't push new offers. I push the same offer for a very long time, but I adapt the offer content towards what's happening in the industry. The trend might be AI, the trend might be organic content, the trend might be communities, the trend might be not selling on sales calls. So that's basically what I'm trying to do. Okay. So the way I plan it out is through these three bullets: my dream, my goals, and the plan. Okay. So how do I do it? Over here, I can share with you what the dream looks like. So share my lifestyle. This is basically what I do. So I share what I do so that the audience can understand and get a visual representation. So attending, for example, the Inner Circle at ClickFunnels event, also traveling, also making videos online, etc., and or spending time with my wife or something. So if you think about those four things, those are what people want. They want to attend events to just meet up with other people. They want to do their own traveling. They want to spend time with the family, etc., etc. So you want to think, okay, how can you leverage your brand in order to achieve this? Build the business, but also the lifestyle that you want. Okay. While again, I don't share where I live. I don't share what I drive. I don't share income claims. I don't share any income post or anything. Why? Because I don't want to attract people who just want to buy just to get a quick buck. I want to attract literally people who want to dedicate their time to building a real business online, a legitimate, genuine business and helping others. Why? Because what I tend to see throughout the decade, the more you show income claims, income proof, income statements, the worse clients you get. That is what I've learned throughout the years. And I've kind of reached the point like, hey, I don't want that anymore. I've kind of been through that phase of, okay, dealing with it, but now I don't want it for myself. So if I want to, and I'm gonna build something for myself, I'm gonna focus on people that are legitimately want to help others, but helping others to really working with that person, not so much as to selling them an income. Okay, so when I focus here, as you can see here, is creating or selling the Nomad Creator lifestyle. That is what I want to focus. And I start with the dream. Then I go into the goal. So what is the goal? Well, the goal is simple. If you want the dream, if you want someone to help you build it, you can join the coaching. Okay. Or if you want to do it partially with me, you can buy the course. It's one or the other. You do the coaching or you do the course, but I don't have done for you. I don't have other thing than that. Okay. As simple as this. And this is what makes me stand apart. Why? Because there's a lot of people pushing done for you, done for you, done for you, but done for you only makes it even worse. Not because of the actual delivering of the service, but because the person becomes reliable on you. So if your business sucks, it's a problem. If you fail, it's a problem. If your team fails, it's a problem. If the copy doesn't work, it's a problem. If the video doesn't work, it's a problem. It's always a problem. So for you to avoid all the problem and just leave the accountability onto the person itself, you basically have a course or you have a coaching. If they don't show up with the coaching, they failed. If you don't show up for the coaching, you refund them. That's it. It's as simple, as clear as that. There's no other way. Okay, so when you do it like this, you have time freedom. And time is not something you can buy. And people can say, like, yeah, I can buy time. I can purchase something and it makes it more faster, blah, blah, blah. No, that's a mental lie. You cannot buy time because no one can lengthen my life. Okay, no one can do that. So I want to use my time wisely. And this is the way I can do it wisely. Okay, and I only do it with clients who agree with that mentality. So the plan will be for me to share what will be the breakdown. Here is an example of the breakdown. And of course, I have it on my Twitter as a pinned post. So even if people see it or not, I still have it as pinned there. So people can see, okay, so Ronald's plan is to build his $1 million business, blah, 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 just selling courses and coaching, not doing sales calls, no large team, no volume output. So this is what I want. I don't want any of that. Why? Because I kind of saw by other people and implementing it myself, I don't need that. And I don't want a life that I'm always at the hamster wheel of having to produce content. I do it because I love it. I do it because I share with others. And I do it because I want to sell my own thing, but I don't want to be on a hamster wheel. Okay, so if I want to build a lifestyle, I have to share the plan for them to get there so that people understand it and people buy into it. And what will be the code of conduct when I do my marketing? Okay, so here's there. What do you stand for? So these are your standards or principles. And what are you going to go against? Okay, so I kind of share already, but I will share again. So I give you like a glimpse of what I share with people once they buy the course. It says these are the community standards, and you can read it over here. It says I want you to help, or I want to help you, work with you to become a better version. That's the main goal. Become a better version. In what sense become a better version? I explain. We don't copy others. We are inspired to build. So if the person is going to work with me, they have to put in the work to build something. I'm not going to be doing for them like I've done for you. No, it's not going to work like that. Okay. Other thing, we don't consume social media. We produce media. So they have to be able to produce some type of content. Okay. Video, written, doesn't matter. Something. And it says we don't work every day. We take 1 day of the week off, or maybe 2, depending on what you want to do. But I personally, on the weekends, I even try to consume content on the weekends. See what other people are doing in the industry. Meaning during the week, I try to focus on my stuff and other projects I have going on. So you can do the same. You can focus on your life plus your business during the week. On the weekends, you try to focus on things you're creative in, things with your family, things that you've been invited to, etc. So you can do it like this. There's other comparisons. People want to push business narratives of helping you generate revenues. So here's an example. If you want to push like the way people should do things, you can say like, hey, we can close 3 clients a month, and here's how we do it by etc. etc. And you say like, you can either push that thing that everyone is doing, or you can go against it. And against it is by creating a new way. Okay, a new way by doing something different. So a lot of people are pushing calls, I'm going against it. A lot of people are pushing, you have to do a lot of content, I'm going against it. So you kind of separate yourself from the rest. Okay. Now a book I would highly recommend you guys to check on Amazon. I'm not affiliated to, but is Storyworthy, because you guys can understand more on how to leverage and utilize your own stories in order to sell more of your offer. And based on this, again, you have past simple ways of telling story, or you have present continuous. So you're sharing day to day what is going on. And you kind of see it in the gym industry or gym niche. People post like day 1 of training, day 2 of training, and they post their entire life. And a lot of people somehow likes that. So you can do it in the self-development when it comes to mindset or relationships, or you can do it in the business style as well. So you share day to day, how are you progressing? Now you don't have to put day 1, day 2, day 3, but it still gives people an idea of how you're progressing through. Other than that, here's an example, okay, of a simple good and bad situation. So give you a better context, and I will share over here, okay, highlighted for you. Right before I was planning to launch the course, and within that, the coaching, I got shut down by Stripe. And guess what? I've been using Stripe for like 3 to 4 years. And out of the blue, I've been shut down by Stripe. Why? Because on 2024, I think it was January 4th, 1st or something, or 4th, Stripe updated their policy that they don't accept subscription payments anymore because that business model, supposedly based on them, is too risky. So they shut down my account. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I've been using you for like 4 years and suddenly you want to shut down my account? So right when I started promoting already that there's a start date for the course, guess what? I couldn't sell the course because my Stripe has been shut down, so I cannot take payments. So I had to scramble to find other ways of getting the payments. So then I had to go to Kajabi, create an account. Kajabi is more expensive. I had to migrate every single course, every single copy, every single PDF into Kajabi, set the funnel up, because if you simply put the members area up, it doesn't work like that. You have to create the order page, you have to create the PSL page. You also have to create all the other pages related, because if someone clicks the link and they go into your members area, they will see all the other links are like templatized and templates from Kajabi, not even from yourself. So it was a mess. So I have to spend days and nights trying to migrate everything. So now I'm asking myself, how can you utilize your failures in order for you to get clients? This is an example. And every time clients, go to my content, they always see this. Hey, if you're dealing with Stripe, if you're processing payments for Stripe, only process high ticket payments. Don't process low ticket. If you process directly using Stripe low ticket, potentially you can use your account. Similar that happens with PayPal. So what other options you have? The only other option I would recommend you till now is to utilize some third-party platform like School or something else to process those payments. It might be Thrivecart, it might be School, it might be something else. In my case, I use Kajabi. And they are the one that deals with Stripe because they have a bigger business and a better transaction rate versus me as a small business, as a one-person business. So they are more likely not to get shut down versus me or versus you. So for you to be wise, it will be wiser for you to use a third-party platform like School, Thrivecart, Samcart, whatever you have out there, in order for you to host your stuff like videos, courses, blah, 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 and connect that to your Stripe account, because then you will be safer because they are the one that will pay you. Okay, so that will be way more easier. But this is an example how you can get a sale by using your, I will call it like your failures or difficulties you face. And the other continuous is here, where I share my insight and updates on what I'm doing and how I'm building it. So for example, over here, you see an image. Let me just go a bit more closer. Okay, so you see an image of basically what I do. Oh, this is like too big. Okay, so basically what I do on a weekly basis. Okay, so when people say like, hey, let me look at your schedule, how you set up everything, how you share everything, blah, blah, blah. This is a clear example of how I do it. I share a screenshot and say, hey, today I'm working on the schedule, and during the week, I'm going to implement this. And I share them what's the progress. So waking up in the morning, working on my mindset, working out, writing a bit, whatever you're doing. So you try to come up with a time frame. If you do this successfully, people will see, oh, this guy have an action plan and continuously he's executing. I also want someone to help him with that. Okay, they start agreeing with you. You're shifting their belief. And this is how they come to you and say, hey, Renal, I want to work with you. I see that you have this outline, this blueprint, this process. Okay. So this makes it more easier for you to close the sale because you don't have to sell your process. It's already being explained in the content. By the time they come to you, they're like, hey, where can I purchase this? How can I be part of this? Okay. And this is what you will do, as we just explained over here, into your day-to-day storytelling. Okay, content sharing. Let me just scroll down over here. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna put this. Yeah, in the future, I'm gonna share with you the screenshot. But right now, the idea is to get them to your side. Okay, shift their belief. How do you do it on a daily basis? It's through your content. And this guy, again, I don't have the screenshot, but this guy said that 𝐸 𝐐𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐨𝐬. Many of you guys, if you know who 𝐸 𝐐𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐨𝐬 is, he's a very well-known entrepreneur in the email marketing niche. And he's very good at this, and he's made like 7 figures with this. But the main key thing is that this client is comparing me to him. And I'm not like close to what 𝐸 has achieved. So for him to be comparing me, that's what we call a mindset shift, because clearly I have nothing to do with email marketing, but still by what I've done and what I'm showing, he compares to me and he says like, hey, I want to buy your 5K offer. So he's pre-selling himself. He's convincing himself. He wants to buy my offer. I didn't even sell him the offer. Okay. So what I do day to day: personal stories, insight, project sneak peek, lifestyle images, product related updates on my program, new things I'm doing, or short stories like facts within the industry, and results related, testimonials, my own achievements, positive comments, feedbacks. If you don't have testimonials or reviews, just do something for free for someone and acquire them. Okay. I try to do this at least maybe once a week. I reach out to a person and say, hey, I see that your banner is not nice. Can I do something for you? Like, can I create a new banner in exchange for your feedback on it or your review? If they say yes, of course. I can do the messaging. I can do the offer. I can do, I don't know, funnel copy, a VSL, whatever. It depends on what is less of a work and what can I help them with. It's not always doable because it depends on who's doing what. But then again, this is what I can do. So basically, you guys can also do it. Okay. And what you do is you show how you progress through the process and achieve your goals, or the client progresses through the process and achieves your goals, because it becomes a case study. Okay. So it's one or the other. And this is what we call a belief shifting narrative, or I would say strategy. Okay. So they go from comparing you to others towards helping you or buying from you because they agree with your perspective, with your beliefs, versus your competition. Okay, so this is what you want to achieve. Now, the messaging matrix, okay, so you understand what you want to create content and storyline from, is the dream outcome, the goals, the plan, your conduct, okay, what you stand for, and what you go against. So if you're thinking, what email should I create? Here's an outline. If you're thinking, what content can I produce for my stories on my social media? Here's an outline. If you're thinking, what content can you write about? Here's an outline. What videos can you create on social media or on YouTube? Here's an outline. So you can dedicate a video completely on these. Okay, and you can see there's like 1, 5, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 topics you can talk about. And those 10 topics, depending on how long you want to talk about or break it down, you can lengthen it as long as you want. So the dream client is what we want. How can we achieve this? By only talking to a specific audience that we shared about. They have a dream, they have a goal, they have a plan, and then they want a specific outcome. Okay? Because again, as you can see here, if you're talking to the the blue circle, it's not gonna buy a green object, or not the red over here, or not the yellow triangle. So you have to think, if I'm talking to one specific audience over and over and over with different pains and problem standards, eventually they're going to come to me. Okay, so you have to think about the circle client will not buy from a square content. Okay, so you have to think about it. Okay, so try to memorize that, because that is crucial. And with that, you want people who are selling. Okay, so in my case, just to give you in perspective, people who you are selling with calls already and not sitting without clients. Okay, so in other words, the same. If I want interest in people that have an agency, that have a coaching program, that are nomads, etc., and they want to sell without doing sales calls, I have to talk to, convey, or basically try to connect with people that are selling with calls already and want to get rid of that. Okay, so if you are trying to help people that are dealing with traumas, or sorry, sell something that are dealing with traumas, you have to find people that already been through that process, not people that assume they're dealing with it. Okay, so you have to find people that already been through it. They already been to a burnout and they don't want to experience it again. Okay, so something like that. They fear from going back. And this is how you start like narrowing the audience you're working with. So reason number one, money for money. So if you find people like this, no matter what niche you are, probably like the promise is like close your first deal. And the client says like, hey, someone who has never closed a deal before, or you want to add 30K a month because it's someone stuck between 5 and 15K, someone who wants to add more weight in the gym because there's someone who wants to just build a certain physique, etc. You want to remember that you don't want to inflate the promise, okay? Because the more you promise, the harder it is to deliver. The less you promise or the simpler you keep it, the more trust people will have and the simpler it is for you to deliver, okay? And it says here, do not work with prospects who buy for the reason only. Just make money to money, okay? So if you get that because you're posting too much income claims, it will be a mess. I know this because affiliates are like this most of the time. They only buy because they want a quick buck. They don't care about the audience. They don't care about the people. They only care about making money. And that becomes a problem for you if you are having that messaging, okay? So try to utilize some type of messaging that attracts your audience, but a purpose-driven audience, someone that has a bigger why behind what they're doing, not only the money, okay? If you listen to any guru out there, and I've listened to many, say that if you're not in business for money, then do it for free. Like that is not the point. The point is you don't want to simply acquire the money and then not be able to deliver, because it happens a lot in the industry, okay? Now, second to that, you want them to have or are missing one part of the movement, okay? Or to have a missing piece in the cog or in the system, so that you can give them that missing piece, like that missing puzzle, in order for them to have the bigger picture. Once you achieve that, that is the type of audience you want to work with. And what is the reaction you normally get? I want to do what you do. I love the way you do X. Okay, now if you scroll all the way at the top, or you just go back to the beginning of the video, you see in my comments, the ones that became a client, they reach out and try to sell themselves. Okay, so this is what you want to do as well. And with this in mind, you get these type of comments, etc. People want to do what you do. People want to be a part of what you're doing, etc. Okay, and what I always say, like, hey, as a Nomad creator, I don't do sales calls. So if you're expecting sales calls, this is not for you. Find someone else. But if you want to sell without doing sales calls, sure. If you pay me, I'm more than happy to work with you one-on-one. Okay, so this is how we will do it. Now you can message. Here's an example how you can create your messaging. But again, you have to kind of craft it to fit your offer and your perspective and your dream, etc. Now, a missing piece, as we just said a minute ago, you want to have the magic pill in order to help the clients, alleviate their pain with some type of painkiller. And the messaging is that if you're stuck with X because you don't have Y, but I'll give you this in the workshop, in the course, in the coaching. Because this is how it will be. So when you're chatting with people via chat, or you're sending them an email, it's the same approach. Just copy and paste, add a couple of messages or a couple of angles or a couple of things, and then you send them the purchase link. As simple as that. All right, and the last one is community support. People sometimes want to seek out others that have a like-minded vision, standards, principles, and genuine interest, okay? An example will be if you buy something from someone and you somehow purchase from them and then they disappear, you kind of get pissed off or deflated or demotivated because you're like, hey, I thought this person is going to work with me and suddenly it's not. So what you want to think of, if you create your offer and you sell it, are you going to behave the same way? Okay, so if you behave the same way, you're basically perpetuating the same problem that already exists in the market and people will reject you. But if you show up, if you give another option, or if you come up differently, what you will do is build a relationship that person will stay with you for years to come, even if they don't buy now. Okay, so you have to remember that you're planting the seed for later for it to grow into a tree. All right, so the messaging example is this. You can get your insight from somewhere else, or you can get your insight from your own trial and error, but you can kind of create and understand what the messaging is about. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up for today. And this is basically what we just covered today. how to craft a conversion offer. Okay, so a signature offer, whatever you want to call it. I call it a conversion offer because it's self-converting. The 10 messaging bullets, what we talked about. Okay, so that was the dream, the plan, the process, then your principles, your standards, all those things. We also talked about the reasons of your dream clients. If they're only wanting to buy because they see that you're promising some type of income claim, reject them. Don't let them buy, because they will either become a refund or become a complainer. Okay, or give you headaches because they're only thinking about the money. They are not genuine people who want to help other people. Okay, then marketing message that will turn clients to leads is by understanding why people buy and taking that why and putting it into your offer, into your messaging, into your content. This is what you want, the why people buy. If you can understand the why, and normally I always say to every single person, do you understand why people come to you? No. Do you understand why people buy from you? No. Do you understand why people sign up in order to look at your funnel? They have no clue because they haven't spoken to any of those leads. So if you don't speak to leads, you're never going to understand the why. You need to speak to leads to understand their whys. And this will give you a good idea what or how do you need to optimize or improve your offer, or what do you need to add to it or remove from it. Okay, so the why is important. And with this, in the next step, I will give you guys, again, in the next step, I want to give you guys this training video so you guys can go through it. I'll give you guys access to the document as well. Within the recording area, the main thing I want you guys is to go into the program, okay, whatever program you purchased based on watching this video, because this is an evergreen video, so you will find it with different programs. So go within this program that you found and focus on understanding these frameworks, okay, that I just shared with you guys. Second to that, make sure you craft an offer map so people can understand if they buy, what they get, and from that, what's the next step. And if they are clueless, what they need to do. Okay, so those are the offer map. Make sure you do that. And then for yourself, hey, write 3 content pieces using the 4 messaging bullets we just discussed. If you want to use all 10 of them, I wouldn't recommend it because it's going to be too long, but just use like 4 of them at least. And of course, if you still find it too long, just use 1 of them, okay? And use it in a tweet, using it in a post, using in a story, using on maybe even a YouTube video, like a reel. Okay, it's totally up to you. All right, guys, this is the training for today. Appreciate every single one of you guys for showing up, or for you watching this video as well. If you have any question, please reach out to me. I make myself available to at least reply back to you, either through audio, to text, or whatever. And other than that, if you need resources, I can guide you into the proper direction as well. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next live training. Take care.